YouTube. Hi, everybody. Hope that you guys are doing good. Today, we're talking about how hormone imbalances, excuse the wrong spelling, how hormone imbalances create fibroids, cause fibroids to occur. The reason why it's so important to know this is because a lot of women don't understand that, like I was saying earlier, their body was showing them signs of imbalances. Their body was showing them signs of estrogen dominance, right? Some as early as your first period, some even as early as childhood, right? So when I talk about and I'm going to go over that, the signs and symptoms of hormonal collapse, of estrogen dominance, when I talk about that, women are often surprised because they don't realize how long they've been going through this, right? And a lot of times we're past these issues in the womb, you know, from mom. If she did not heal herself, unfortunately, it gets passed down, right? But we got to stop that generational curse. This is where we get a whole, lineage of women that have to deal with fibroids or endometriosis, or, when people say, oh, everybody in my family has had a hysterectomy. That's not normal. And that's not something you have to deal with, right? You can break that curse, right? Because if our whole family have to have hysterectomies, what does that say about our health? Because these fibroids, endometriosis, these womb issues are a full body issue. They're not just a uterine issue, okay? So happy December 1st. First of all, thank you so much for the likes. Yes, our goal today is 10,000 likes, okay, or more, okay? So be sure that you guys are liking so we can get more women in here. I will be live every day in December. That's my commitment, at 9 a.m. And if I can't do it at 9 a.m., I'll do it another time. But if you're on my email list, you'll know, by the way. So if you're not on my email list, get on my email list so you know when I'm going live. You know what the topic is about. And of course, if you subscribe to YouTube, you can also watch the replay if you end up missing the live stream, okay? So I know that in the States, y'all are at work. So listen to me as you're working, okay? Or if you still on Thanksgiving break, you're not there at work yet. But yeah, listen to me as you're working. So it's important that you understand that because it's so much information out there. Like I always say about fibroids, that women, when it comes to fibroids, women are clueless. And that's a problem. If you're dealing with fibroids, it's important to understand how these fibroids developed in your body. It's important to understand what's going on in your body, right? It's important for you. Yes, we want to understand how to shrink and dissolve them, but first understand, how did you even get fibroids in the first place, right? What environment has to happen what type of internal environment does my body have to be in before I even get fibroids? That's important so that we're not just recreating fibroids, recreating bad health. Because like I always say, fibroids is a full body issue, okay? So today we're talking about how hormonal imbalances lead to fibroids, okay? So let's talk about it as you guys are coming in. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I would love to know. Whether you're watching from YouTube, the replay, whether you're watching on TikTok, let me know where y'all are watching from. Where are you guys at in the world, okay? Because we always have women all over the world, all over the globe that's watching us, whether they're in the States, Europe, Australia, African countries, Caribbean countries. So let me know. Don't be shy. Let me know where y'all are watching from, okay? So today specifically, we're going to talk about a very common yet dangerous hormonal imbalance called estrogen dominance, okay? Put a 1 in the chat, whether you're watching from TikTok or YouTube. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard about estrogen dominance. If you've been following me, I know you've heard about it, okay? And like I said, as you guys are coming in, our goal is 10,000 likes. So tap on that screen so we can get more women in here and more women can learn about this, okay? So tap, and share the live if you can. YouTube, share the live if you can. Share this with somebody that has fibroids. Share this live with somebody that has fibroids, that's suffering, that needs to understand what's going on with their body, okay? So, as it says, some comments were filtered. I'm not sure why. Okay, so does anybody know what estrogen dominance is? Put a 1 in the chat if you know what estrogen dominance is. And you know what? I forgot to make sure that it's only subscriber can comment on YouTube because we don't want bots, okay? That's important. Okay, there we go. Subscriber only messages on YouTube, okay? So make sure that you subscribe if you know. But anyway, let me know so nobody knows what estrogen dominance is. Either y'all are quiet, y'all are shy, or nobody knows what estrogen dominance is. It's important that you know what this is, ladies. And if you're watching from YouTube, be sure to click the thumbs up button, ladies. Or gentlemen, whoever's watching me, click the thumbs up button. It's important that you know what estrogen dominance is. The reason why is because this is what leads to fibroids, right? And estrogen dominance, let's get that clear. It's not just about estrogen and progesterone. A lot of people, when they think estrogen dominance, they just think about estrogen. How do I lower my estrogen? That's a lot of women that have fibroids. Once they find out about estrogen dominance, that's what they say. That's not what we want to focus on. Here's the thing. When you're estrogen dominant, your sex hormones are out of balance, right? And it's not just the sex hormones. It's what caused the sex hormones to become out of balance. The foundational hormones are out of balance, right? So there's a series of hormones that are not behaving in the body like they're supposed to, that are off balance, right? The organs and glands in your body need support in order to secrete the right amount of each hormone. So that's really, really important. So a lot of times we want to hyper focus on one hormone, but listen, your hormones work together as a whole. So if one is off, they're off. Your hormones are off. And when we're dealing with fibroids, our hormones are out of balance. That's something you have to realize and take into account. Your hormones are out of balance, right? So when you think about, this is why when women shrink their fibroids come, when women have surgery for their fibroids come right back because they did not take care of the root causes. And one of those root causes are estrogen dominance, right? And if your body's estrogen dominant, this means that not only are you susceptible to fibroids, but you're also susceptible to, we tend to be more susceptible to the things that we're more predisposed to. So this is when women can get thyroid issues. It starts off with fibroids, but then it gets to thyroid issues, right? Or autoimmune disorders, or, other reproductive health issues, right? It may start off with fibroids, and then endometriosis, and then all of a sudden you have cysts, and then all of a sudden your tubes are blocked. Like, it depends on the particular woman, but when you have fibroids, what you need to understand is that it's a full body issue. It's not just a uterine issue, right? It's not just a uterine issue. So it's important to know that there is a breakdown of hormone. This is hormonal collapse going on in the body when we have fibroids, okay? So thank you, Jessica, for liking the video. Yes, ladies, like the video. We're trying to get to our goal, and this live stream is 10,000 likes on TikTok, okay? And YouTube, don't forget to click the thumbs up button, okay? Help us get our, more women into this live as well. It's important that more women know this information. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy also first of the month, everybody. First of the month. Yes. Excited for December 2025, the last month of the year. If we don't get it together now, then when? If we don't get it together now, then when? Okay. So it's important that you understand that estrogen dominance is not just about, this is the root cause of fibroids, y'all. Estrogen dominance. It's not just about estrogen and progesterone. It is about the hormone hierarchy going on in your body, and those foundational hormones, right? You have to address them first before you even get to estrogen and progesterone. What are those foundational hormones? Cortisol and insulin. And those hormones are off and dysregulated if we have fibroids. If we have fibroids, the cortisol and insulin in our body are dysregulated. I don't care what the tests say. You got to look at the symptoms your body is showing you, right? And I'm going to go over the symptoms of estrogen dominance today. So a lot of you guys are going to see that you've been dealing with hormonal imbalance for years before the fibroid even developed. For many years before the fibroid even developed. It's important for you to know that, right? So that when we are in a healing journey, when we're shrinking and getting rid of fibroids, you're also going to see your hormonal imbalances. Your hormones start to balance out. You got to know the signs, right? A lot of women don't know the signs. They don't understand hormonal imbalance, and they don't understand how their bodies work. As women, we're very hormonal. We have a 28-day hormonal menstrual cycle, right? A natural 28-day menstrual cycle, right? Some people 29 days, some people 27 days, but we have a 29-day menstrual cycle. 28 days, excuse me. Some people are 29. 28-day menstrual cycle. And you have 4 different phases of that cycle, right? 4 different phases of the 28 days. So it's important, and in those 28 days, in those 4 phases, your hormones are fluctuating, okay? It's important that as a woman, you follow the ebbs and flows of your natural hormonal state. When you work against your hormones, that's when you throw them out of balance. So you have to understand your body as a woman. A lot of people don't understand their body as a woman. This is why they continuously become out of balance. It starts off with heavy bleeding, horrible cycles. That's a sign that your hormones are out of balance. Then it starts off with, fibroids. And then you see what I'm saying? It becomes a cycle. And then perimenopausal symptoms hit you in the face. Things that you think is normal that come with age it's not age related. It's your health. Happy Monday. Yes, Cyber Monday. Yes. Yes, thank you, Marsh. Good morning. Please like, subscribe. If you're watching from YouTube, like, subscribe, And also share, if you can, share this with somebody that has fibroids, that needs to understand what's going on in their body when they have fibroids. So let's break it down. So do you guys understand that? I know there's people coming in, jumping out, but that's okay. We're going to get to it, okay? And also, too, Cyber Monday, we have the vaults, the Advanced Fibroid Healing, the Advanced Fibroid Healing Mastery Vault, the over 15 trainings that help women dissolve their fibroids fully. We have that on sale until midnight, okay? So FYI, all right, as well as the 3-month intensive. So we have our Black Friday offers on sale until midnight. After midnight, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, okay? So even if your estrogen levels appear normal on your lab results, because you guys love going to the doctor to get these lab results that are not even showing you what's really going on in your body. That's a whole other conversation, right? So they're not telling you how much they're not telling you how much estrogen that you actually have. That's not the problem. The problem is the ratio between the sex hormones and how well your body is metabolizing that estrogen, right? So if we're dealing with estrogen dominance, our body is not metabolizing the estrogen appropriately. This is why we have there's different types of estrogen. This is why we have all these toxic strands of estrogen causing, like, wreaking havoc in our body. This is why your progesterone levels are so low, right? A lot of people just focus on estrogen. Well, what about progesterone? What about cortisol? What about insulin? All of these things impact your sex hormones, and you cannot lower your estrogen until you until you rebalance your hormones, restore hormonal balance within your body. And that starts at the foundation. What caused your body to be estrogen dominant? That's important, okay? That's important for you to know and realize, okay? So let's get to it. Thank you for the follows, but make sure that you guys are also liking the live stream. Again, our goal is 10,000 likes. I know that we can do it. We've been doing it for the last few days. 10,000 likes on TikTok, okay? Now, what are the signs and symptoms of estrogen dominance? And ladies, if you have fibroids, for the ones that are just coming in, if you have fibroids, you are estrogen dominant, okay? So let's talk about the signs and the symptoms. The reason why it's so important to know this, because like I said, fibroids is a full body issue, and under the umbrella of estrogen dominance, there's so many other health issues that can happen in the body. When your hormones are out of balance, you're susceptible to so many different health conditions, including certain types of cancer. Yes. This is why you hear women that have certain types of cancers, especially breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer. They started out with either fibroids, endometriosis, ovarian cyst, heavy bleeding. Like they started out with womb issues, and then it got to cancer. I'm not saying that if you have fibroids, you're going to get cancer. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the risk factor becomes higher because your body's estrogen dominant. And that is, unfortunately, when your body's estrogen dominant, you are more prone than the average person to certain types of cancers, okay? Estrogen dominant cancer. So let's get to it. What are the signs? First of all, let's get to I want to get to the health issues that occur in the body, and the root causes are estrogen dominance. Let's talk about it. Fibroids is definitely one. Of course, we know the root cause is estrogen dominance. Endometriosis and adenomyosis, okay? PCOS, ovarian cysts, allergies. Yes, allergies are a sign that you are estrogen dominant. So even kids, like I said, we're passing down toxicity to the babies, unfortunately. Even allergies. A lot of women that have fibroids, that have heavy bleeding, they had allergies, or they still have allergies. Autoimmune disorders, root cause are estrogen dominance, whether it's lupus, MS, Hashimoto's, okay, whatever it is, right? Breast cancer, the root cause is estrogen dominance, ladies. Breast cancer. This is why I say when estrogen dominant is a dangerous hormonal imbalance. Uterine cancer, infertility. Majority of women that are infertile are estrogen dominant. Okay, hormones are out of balance. Majority. And I've saying this as somebody and I forgot to introduce myself earlier, but I'm saying this as somebody that's worked with women that are infertile, that could not have babies, right? For years. And through working with them, balancing their hormones, getting rid of the fibroids, unblocking their tubes, okay? We have several testimonials like this. They were able to naturally have a baby, okay? So if you want to read more, by the way, about our testimonial, we have a client that we did a case study on her, and I worked with her for 6 months, and she was having issues with getting pregnant, and her whole entire story is in the link in my bio. You'll see the client case study L's testimonial, okay? If you want to read more about it, the link is in my description box. For those that are coming in, I forgot to, my name is Sasha, okay? And I'm a holistic womb specialist, and I help women dissolve their fibroids and reverse chronic reproductive health conditions by getting to the root cause of the problem, by addressing the root cause of the issue, right? If you don't get to the root cause of these issues, you're not going to heal them. You're just going to suppress them. You're just going to maintain them. That's not what we want to do. So you have to get, and I know with modern medicine, they teach you how to either suppress things, conditions, or they teach you how to get rid of the symptoms for now, right? Feel better for now and just seek relief for now. We have to evolve past that line of thinking and actually get to a point where we're healed, okay? I need you guys to evolve past just wanting to feel better today, just wanting to, this is why a lot of women are coerced into having surgeries, right? And let me know, if you have a surgery plan to get rid of fibroids, let me know. I hope this live changes your mind. We had somebody that came on literally about a week ago and said that because of the, just taking one of my courses, all her fibroids dissolved. And she was like, she canceled her surgery. She didn't need it anymore. Her fibroids are gone. Okay? Shout out to Whitney. Now, let's talk about it. So I talked about allergies, breast cancer, uterine cancer being the root causes being estrogen dominant, also endometrial cancer, cervical cancer. And I know you guys think, okay, so cervical cancer tends to be HPV, but guess what? When you are estrogen dominant, it's easier to contract things like HPV. You leave your body vulnerable, even STDs. Yes, right? Because when you're dealing with estrogen dominance, you're dealing with toxins recirculating in the body. The body is not able to get rid of toxins appropriately because the elimination organs are overloaded. So we even leave ourselves susceptible, to more serious health issues, including, right? So also too, blood clots are the root causes are estrogen dominance. Asthma, that's another one too. That's why I said this stuff for a lot of people, women go like start in childhood, right? Asthma, early on, getting your period early. That's another thing too. Getting your period. When I say getting your period early, I mean before 13 or 14. It was unheard of to have a period, get your first period at 9, 10, 11, even 50 years ago, 100 years ago. That was unheard of. But now we live in a modern times where estrogen dominance is so common, even among children. We're passing down this toxicity to our babies. So if you have early menstruation, if you got your period, let me know in the chat. Did you get your period before 13 or 14? That's a sign that your body's estrogen dominant, that you were estrogen dominant, right? And women that get their period at that type of age, their risk for getting things like fibroids is higher, infertility issues is higher, PCOS, ovarian cysts, their heavy bleeding, issues with their cycle, their risk for having those are higher. Girls that get their period early. But you can reverse estrogen dominance. You can nip it in the bud, especially early on. You got your 14. Okay. So, and you know what's so crazy? That was considered normal about 50 years ago, but now that's considered late. People would consider that late, which is crazy. So little girls are getting their period before they even start like puberty these days. And that's kind of scary. Okay. So what's another sign of health? I got my first period at 9. I have PCOS, allergies, and a couple of others you mentioned. Juju, thank you for sharing that. So literally, see, I know what I'm talking about, y'all. Literally confirm everything that I'm talking about. So thank you for sharing that. So also too, if you're perimenopausal, what do I always say about perimenopause? If you're following me, it is not because of your age. It's not a particular time in your life. No. Perimenopause is strictly hormonal imbalance. Strictly hormone imbalance. Toxin overload in the body. Because when you heal the body, like I've done with many of my clients, when you heal the body, when you balance the hormones, there is no perimenopause. Your body operates the way it's supposed to. Your hormones are not chaotic. So you guys have to stop attributing bad health to age. Bad health and age have nothing to do with each other. They don't. It's about your biological age. Your chronological age and your biological age is different. The milk causes early periods for young girls. That's one of the things that, yes, that's one of the things that dairy is one of the things that do cause early periods for young girls. Absolutely. I got my period at 10. And PCOS and allergies. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Toric. Thank you. Yeah, it's a real thing. You mentioned a while back that past periods are a waste of time. Don't get me started on that. I don't even want to discuss that because people are going to get triggered. We'll say that another time. Okay. If you've had early menopause before the age of 55, thank you for the gifts. Thank you, Miss Roxy, for the gifts. If you had early menopause before the age of 55, you're estrogen dominant. I know this one is controversial because we're taught that between 40s and 50s that we're supposed to menstruate. Guess what? When your body is healthy, it happens a lot later in life. Okay? And a lot of times and I'm saying this as somebody that's worked with women and got their periods back after 3 years of menopause, after, being in menopause for a full year, them thinking they were in menopause, but it wasn't menopause. Their reproductive system just shut down due to toxicity, due to accumulated toxicity, right? So it's important for you to know that. A lot of times you guys are causing yourself to become, and then all this, the symptoms, you attribute them to hot flashes with menopause. That's attributed with toxicity in the body. Menopause is supposed to be a gradual. You're not supposed to feel symptoms like that, but you're just supposed to see your period stop, and that's it. It's not supposed to be all of these symptoms. That happens when your hormones are out of balance, when you're dealing with toxicity, okay? Also, I have a question about men. Can they have estrogen issues? Absolutely. You guys see the rise of prostate cancer? Y'all see the rise of men developing breast tissue, balding? That's all estrogen issues. Absolutely. You guys see testosterone levels and men are getting lower and lower? Right? So if we have, as a matter of fact, there's a study that is done that literally says if you have fibroids and you have a baby and you're estrogen dominant and have a baby, then guess what? You have a son, that son is more likely to have prostate issues later in life. That's why a lot of men have ED. Boom! A lot of men have erectile dysfunction, right? And they're now seeing it as early as 30s and 20s even. It's on the rise. Erectile dysfunction. People just blame, I can't say the word, people blame corn, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than corn. How do we lower our estrogen levels? That should not be the concern. You know why? Because again, like I said earlier, maybe you weren't here, Juju. A lot of women are thinking when they hear estrogen dominance, how do I lower my estrogen levels? Wrong question. What you need to be asking is, how do I restore my hormonal balance? Because if one hormone is off, the others are off too, right? And you do that by starting with the foundational hormones. If your hormone, so we have to get to the root cause. You can't just focus on one hormone, because if we are estrogen dominant, there's a long list of hormones that are out of balance. You got to get to the root cause, right? And it starts with the foundational hormones, the cortisol and insulin. Okay, so we can't just go straight to the sex hormones. We got to start at the root. So let's talk about the signs and symptoms. Okay, thank you. Make sure that you guys are also joining the email list, because I'm going to be going live every day in December. Oh, I don't know. Every day in December. I committed to that. So join the email list so you'll know what topics I'm going to do. And also, too, you know what we have going on, okay? Also, too, ladies, we have our Black Friday sales going on today. Today's the last day for our Black Friday sale. The Advanced Fibroid Healing Vault for women that want to dissolve their fibroids. The link is in my bio. Okay, and we also have, if you want to work with me for 3 months to completely heal your body, to completely heal your womb, our 3-month intensive, okay? Our vaults, the Advanced Fibroid Healing Vault, the Mastery Vault, that is a self-study course, but it's a very powerful course with over 15 trainings. So our Black Friday offers are in the link in our bio. At midnight, they're done. And tomorrow, how do you know what tomorrow? What was I gonna say? Tomorrow, by midnight, the prices go up. So the vault will be back to $500, the regular price, and to work with the 3-month intensive will be back to the regular price, right? You save $1,000 if you join before midnight. All right. So do you know what? Are you trying to say hormonal imbalance? I'm not sure what ABALA27. What is that? I'm not sure what is that. Maybe write the full word. The word. Yeah, check the link, ladies. The link is in my bio if you want, if you're watching from, the link is in my description box if you guys want access to the Black Friday offers, okay? And if you're watching from YouTube, If you're watching from TikTok, excuse me, link is in my bio. My OBGYN wants me to start birth control at 40. Absolutely not. That will cause more hormonal imbalance and more hormonal collapse in your body. To balance my hormones without addressing the root cause. Yeah, do not listen. That's gonna cause more issues. I'm not familiar with that health condition. We're talking about fibroids now, hon, or womb issues. I'm not familiar with that health. I don't really want to focus on men. Let's talk about what's going on with you, okay? So I'm saying that with love. I was told that I was too old to take birth control. Nobody should be on birth control. Nobody should be, you know why? Even kids, even teenagers, even in your 20s, nobody should be on birth control. Do you know what birth control does to your body? Do you know what birth control does to your body? You're literally suppressing your own natural hormones, suppressing your ovulation, which is you're supposed to ovulate every month. You're suppressing that and infusing synthetic hormones into your body. Your body knows the difference between your natural hormones and fake hormones. So you're creating more and more toxins in your body. You're overloading the liver, the kidneys. You're stripping the gut of nutrients. So the women that been on birth control, they become my clients because they either have fibroids, blood clot issues, and PCOS, ovarian cysts, some type of health condition. There's a lawsuit against Depo. Yes, there's a lawsuit against many birth control. I don't understand what people in 2025 are still, almost 2026, are still taking or birth control. If your doctor says birth control, thank you for the gifts. That's protocol. That's protocol for them. They're supposed to suggest surgery, birth control, medications. That's protocol. But that doesn't mean you have to take it, right? You have choice and agency over your own body, right? Stop infusing these toxins into your body. Birth control is a grade A carcinogenic, grade 1 carcinogenic, excuse me. Look it up. It's literally a grade 1 carcinogenic. You might as well just start smoking cigarettes too. It's a grade 1 why are we putting poison in our body? A carcinogenic, really? Y'all gotta stop, man. Y'all have to stop. If your birth control makes me sick, so I quit years ago. Yeah. Blood clot was the other one. Of course it makes you sick because you're literally infusing toxins into your body. You're literally infusing toxins into your body. Do you know how many women that, don't even get me started, women that are on birth control, when they don't realize, right? Women that take birth control, especially for more than a year, eventually they end up with, unless they detoxify from that birth control, eventually they end up with a health condition. It may not be a womb issue. It could be Hashimoto's. It could be blood clot issues. It could be, eventually, it happens every single time. But a lot of them don't attribute their health issue to the birth control that they were on maybe 10 years ago. They don't do that. It's a poison. You're literally poisoning yourself. Sorry, I had to go on my little birth control rant because that's literally what you're doing. You're literally poisoning yourself, okay? And our goal for TikTok was 10,000 likes. We're not even close. That's a problem for me, okay? Let's get to 10,000 likes. And also, too, YouTube, be sure to click the thumbs up button, all right? Okay? It's common sense every day, every single day. You're fusing toxins in your body every day. Once I got out of birth control, that's when I had IBS until I got to the root cause. Exactly, Jessica. Exactly. It destroys your gut. And health starts in the gut. We got to start playing with our health. So just because your doctor recommends something that's literally protocol for them, but you have to understand, healthcare is not supposed to heal you. Can I be real with you? It's not. Healthcare is sick care, and you guys know that. It's supposed to keep you as a lifetime customer. Y'all know that. So why are we still falling for the gimmicks and the BS? All right, so let's talk about the signs and symptoms of estrogen dominance. If you have fibroids, for those that are just coming in, you're estrogen dominant. If you have PCOS, you're estrogen dominant. If you have ovarian cysts, heavy bleeding, okay? And we're going to read down the list. What are the signs and symptoms of estrogen dominance so a lot of you guys can see? And a lot of you guys have already seen with the allergies that you've had this condition for a very long time. That a lot of times we're living in a world now where the world is so toxic that mothers are passing this on to their children. Literally. That's why somebody has to break the curse. Somebody has to break the curse in the family so that little girls are not getting their period earlier and earlier. Little girls are not being diagnosed with fibroids now in high school. That's scary. It's getting worse and worse. So what are the signs and symptoms of of estrogen dominance? As a matter of fact, breast cancer is one of them. Breast cancer is one of them. So if you are estrogen dominant, if you have fibroids, adenomyosis, PCOS, ovarian cysts, that means that you can also get another estrogen dominant condition. So let's read through them. It's a long list, y'all. Now, is this everything? No, but it's most of the stuff. If you have breast tenderness, and a lot of you guys are going to be like, breast tenderness, that's normal. No, it's not. That's a sign of low progesterone and toxicity in the body. Unless you're pregnant, your breast should never be tender. Your body shows you signs and you don't realize it. I notice it. Breast tenderness or swelling, bloating is a sign. Yes, you're not supposed to be bloated even on your period. When you get your body healthy, you're not gonna be bloated on your cycle. Bloating, any type of water retention, whether it's in the ankles or the stomach, that's a sign of inflammation. That's a sign of estrogen dominance, right? Weight gain, especially in your abdomen area, okay? Low libido, okay? You might not have all of these, but if you are estrogen dominant, if you have some, even one, it's a concern, okay? But most women have a lot of these things. Most women that are estrogen dominant have a lot of these things. Low libido, mood swings. So yes, if you anxiety, depression, throw that in. Yes, that's an estrogen dominant. Anxiety is literally low progesterone. Literally, these things are not normal. When your hormones are out of balance, it affects your brain activity as well. So PMDD, PMS, none of that stuff is normal. So if you have a sluggish metabolism, or it's hard for you to gain weight. It's very difficult for you to gain weight. These are signs. Hair loss or hair thinning. These are signs, okay? You have a irregular menstrual cycle, meaning your cycle comes every 23 days or every 35 days, right? That's irregular. It should be close to 28 or 29 or 27, but it should not be far off, right? Heavy bleeding on your cycle. That's a sign of estrogen dominance. Heavy menstrual bleeding. Painful cycles. If you have any form of cramps, that's toxicity in the body. That's a form of estrogen dominance. If your periods last longer than 3 to 4 days, let me say that one again. If your periods last longer than 3 to 4 days, because a lot of us think that hemorrhaging is normal. Being on a period for a whole entire week bleeding is normal. It's not. When you get your body healthy, when you heal your body, when you balance your hormones, you're not going to bleed that long, y'all, or that much. I was placed on birth control and bled for 14 days. Stop it immediately. Stop immediately. Any type of thyroid dysfunction, okay? Any type of brain fog. No, it's not your age. No, it's not because you're 40s. No, it's not because you're ADHD. That is a sign of estrogen dominance. It affects your brain chemistry as well. Memory loss is a sign as well. Insomnia. It's hard, whether it's hard for you to fall asleep or it's hard for you to stay asleep. Insomnia, that's a clear sign. Any type of skin issues, right? When I say skin issues, I mean like heavy acne, cystic acne, rashes on your skin, hives. That's a sign, right? That's literally showing, literally. And if you could put all the acne creams and topical stuff until you fix the internal environment, it's never going to change. Vaginal dryness. They lied to you when they said that that's something that is supposed to be an age thing. Oh, no. And a lot of women are seeing that in their 30s. Not normal. That's the estrogen dominance. If your hormones are balanced, you're not gonna be dry ever. Okay? Your body shows you signs. Malfunction is not due to age, it's due to toxicity. It's due to hormonal imbalance. Okay? Thank you for the likes. Yes, Juju. Let's get the likes up. Yes, we're almost at 10,000. Well, we got some way to go. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Juju, for liking the live. I appreciate that. Okay, so blocked tubes. That's a sign as well. Estrogen dominant. Blocked tubes. Gallbladder issues. Y'all, there's a lot of women that are estrogen dominant that are getting their gallbladders taken out. You guys stop that. Stop allowing them to take your parts out. You can heal these things naturally. Okay. Frequent headaches or migraines. That's a clear sign. That's a sign that I had when I was estrogen dominant. That's a sign that I had. And I was like, why do I have headaches like almost every day? Like, that's not normal, y'all. Right? Every now and then, let's say you didn't sleep well or you're not drinking enough water, but you're not supposed to have frequent headaches and migraines, right? That's a clear sign that your body is estrogen dominant. Fibroids, clear sign. Ovarian cysts, any type of polyps, whether they're uterine polyps or endometrial polyps, right? Adenomyosis, endometriosis, both are estrogen dominant. That means you're estrogen dominant. PCOS. A couple of you guys mentioned that you guys had PCOS. Perimenopause symptoms. Any type of perimenopause symptoms. Any type of perimenopausal symptoms. No, you're not. You're not in perimenopause. But how can I say this? Perimenopause is not a stage of your life. No. It's a hormonal imbalance. It's toxicity in your body. Once you heal that, once you balance your hormones, it's no perimenopause. Your body doesn't malfunction because you're 40. Like, come on now. We got to do better. We've been brainwashed. And it's like a whole propaganda recently on perimenopause, right? No, you don't have to suffer, y'all. We've as women, we've accepted suffering in our lives. You don't have to suffer. You know that, right? I already said perimenopause. Menopausal symptoms. You're not supposed to feel any symptoms in menopause. Hot flashes, signs of toxicity, all that stuff. Signs of dryness, signs of toxicity in the body. For men, I mentioned earlier, any issues with the prostate are signs of estrogen dominance, okay? Endometrial cancer, estrogen dominance. Ovarian cancer, cervical cancer, any issues with your blood sugar, any insulin issues, right? Passing clots during your period. Brown blood during your period, okay? That's another thing too, whether it's at the end, beginning, that is not normal. You're not supposed to see days of brown blood. That's not normal. Your periods are supposed to stop. That's not normal. The people like to fight about that too. That's not normal. When you get your body healthy, ain't no brown blood. Your body shows you signs. Y'all need to listen to the symptoms that your body is showing you. And your period is literally your body's fifth vital sign. Literally. So just like as women, we're blessed to have a fifth vital sign. Just like if your blood pressure was high, I would hope that you will take actions to lower it or get it back stable or normal, right? I would hope that you will get to the root cause of that. So when your period is chaotic, then why are we just normalizing that? Why are we just settling for that? No. Say, oh, that's just, every woman is different. No. Yes, every woman is different, but you're not. Our bodies, we have the same hormones. And your body reacts. One woman, she's estrogen dominant. She may have fibroids. The other woman, it may be heavy bleeding. Y'all stop accepting your body malfunctioning as normal. Your body's not supposed to malfunction, right? So endometriosis, I get that question every day. Was that you that literally asked that same question yesterday, Blessings? Coming in my life, asked that same question every single day. I'm not saying that it is cancer, but it does. A lot of people are arguing that it mimics endometriosis because of the tissue growth. It does mimic cancer. So maybe later on studies will show it is a form of cancer. Maybe, I don't know. But it definitely leads to cancer. It wasn't you? Okay. Because I'm like, why would I keep getting that same question every single day when we're not... So it does lead to it. It can lead to it. Excuse me. It can lead to it. Absolutely. If you're, and it's not just endometriosis, adenomyosis, fibroids, any estrogen dominant condition can lead, because guess what? Breast cancer is also estrogen dominant cancer. Ovarian cancer is estrogen dominant cancer. Cervical cancer is estrogen dominant cancer. HPV. If you're estrogen dominant, you're more susceptible to certain to things like HPV. It's easier for you to catch that stuff, if that makes sense. Because your body, we're dealing with toxins in the body. So if we have toxins in the body, we're more likely to, catch certain things, okay? I've already said passing clots. If you're infertile, more than likely you're estrogen dominant. That's a sign. Low ovarian reserve. Any issues with the ovaries, with the ovaries or the ovary function, this is a clear sign of estrogen dominance, okay? These are just a few signs. I know I mentioned more than a few, but these are some signs. But what I want you to know is that a lot of women are not told this, and a lot of women are not told that they're estrogen dominant. They're just told, oh, you have fibroids. Oh, you have endometriosis, right? So a lot of women don't find out about estrogen dominance until they do more research about it. They're researching more about it. Right? And you're probably wondering, why hasn't your doctor told you that you're estrogen dominant? What you have to realize and know is that doctors don't dig deep enough when it comes to these health conditions. They just don't. They don't dig deep enough. They are trained to prescribe medications. They're trained to, do surgeries. They're trained to hand over birth control, right? They're trained, they're not trained to heal their body. They're not trained to heal. So when you go to your doctor for endometriosis or fibroids, it doesn't make any sense because they're not trained to heal those conditions. So they're just going to give you, you know, medications to help with the symptoms, which you don't want to do because they're literally adding on the back end. That stuff is messing you up. So the birth control, can you use herbs? You can, but that's not going to heal. That's not going to heal. Get rid of the fibroid. And are you talking about endometriosis? Let me know. Can you use herbs for what? Herbs are fine. Herbs are great. But if you have to heal the foundation, or they're not gonna do much. You gotta heal the foundation. You gotta get to the root cause of the problem, right? Or they're not gonna do much. Endometriosis, I would focus my energy on getting to the root cause of the problem, and along with that, then you can take herbs. It's an entire lifestyle change. It's not just herbs, right? If it was herbs, it wouldn't be millions of women dealing with endometriosis or fibroids, right? So herbs they don't do the foundational work. They help you along the journey, okay? So there's that. That's why I don't talk that much about herbs, because it's like people think that they can keep their same bad lifestyle and then herbs will save them. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, okay? So Western medicine is really flawed when it comes to women's reproductive health. When it comes to women's reproductive health, Western medicine is flawed. It is severely flawed, right? So unfortunately, going to Western medicine to heal things like endometriosis, to heal things like fibroids, is like, it literally makes no sense, because they're not there to heal, right? Look at how women have been suffering for decades. Almost every woman you know over the age of 21 has either endometriosis, fibroids, adenomyosis, heavy menstrual bleeding, perimenopausal symptoms, almost every single woman. And now they're saying, oh, perimenopause can start as early as the 20s. The women in their 20s and the women in their 40s are dealing with the same issues these days. Women in their 20s too, they're dealing with, there's a rising infertility among women in their 20s too. They run into fertility IVF too. It's not, women think it's an age thing. It's not an age thing. And there's a difference between your biological age and your chronological age. Stop basing your health off your age. It's toxic. I don't know why y'all do that. And I know that we're trained to do that, but that's not what it is. Your health and your age have nothing to do with each other. And your health and how many years you've been alive have nothing to do with each other. And when I say that your fertility and your chronological age really don't have much to do with each other either, but that's a whole other conversation, right, that people aren't ready for, right? Because you've been trained to think that your fertility stops at 40 or 45. That's not the truth. Not when your body's healthy, not when your hormones are in balance, not when you get out of the estrogen dominant state, okay? So it's important that you know, and you guys can ask me questions as well, that estrogen dominance is a very serious health issue, because not only can it contribute to fibroids, it can also contribute to breast cancer. So think of it as a tree with estrogen dominance as a tree with several branches, right? Not only different branches, and the branches are like the health conditions. So whether it's fibroids, endometriosis, you can have 5 women that are estrogen dominant, right? 5 women that are estrogen dominant. One can have fibroids, one can have endometriosis, the other can have ovarian cysts, the other can have PCOS, the other can have heavy bleeding. They're all estrogen dominant, right? And they all are at risk for more serious estrogen dominant conditions like autoimmune disorders, certain types of cancer. That's why it's a really serious issue. And these cancers that are these estrogen dominant cancers are at an all-time high. Ovarian cancer, breast cancer, uterine cancer, endometrial cancer, they're at an all-time high among women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. So this is no joke. This is no joke, y'all. This is no joke. You have to get to and how do the beauty of this is that we can completely reverse estrogen dominance. We can reverse it. We can get our bodies out of an estrogen dominant state, literally, by getting to the root cause of the problem, by healing our hormones, right? It's so important that you realize, like, you're not stuck like this. You're not stuck with PCOS. You're not stuck with fibroids. You can heal these issues. I don't care what your doctor says, right? I don't care. There was a woman, like I said, that literally came on my live a week ago, Whitney, that said that because of taking one of my courses, all 3 of her fibroids are gone. And not only that, she cancels her surgery because she no longer needs the surgery because she no longer has the fibroids. There's another woman that literally worked with me, and gotten that, sent an email about this earlier. Well, or I'm going to send an email about this today, her testimonial. She lives in, what was it? Sweden, okay? She lives in Sweden, and she had 15 fibroids. 15. What was that? November 2024. And when she started working with me she worked with me for 6 months. By 6 months later, it was only 13 left. And the 13 were gone. Sorry. She had 15. 13 fibroids were gone. She only has 2 left. And I think the last time she checked, they were about 6 centimeters and 4 centimeters, something like that. She went from 15 fibroids to 2 in 6 months. In 6 months. All her period symptoms are gone. All her fibroid symptoms are gone. Her period is no longer heavy. She no longer has what they call the fibroid belly. You guys know the fibroid belly, right? The women have that. The uterus is literally the protruding, is enlarged, and the fibroid is pushing the uterus outwards, right? That hard fibroid belly. We're almost okay. We're 7.4 likes. Yes. TikTok. Yes. Let's get it to 10,000. So it's really important that you understand that. And also, too, I'm waiting on some questions, too, because I want you guys to understand what estrogen dominance is, okay? It's important that you understand and know this. And also, too, if you need a guide to not only get rid of fibroids, but also to get rid of estrogen dominance, to reverse your estrogen dominance, we do have our Black Friday sale on one of our courses, our self-study courses, the Vault. The long name is Advanced Fibroid Healing Mastery Vault. It's on sale. It's only $300 if you get it before midnight, okay? After midnight, it does go back to the original price of $500. This has literally over 15 trainings, in-depth advanced trainings, and PDF to help you, to give you all information and the tools on how to dissolve your fibroids. It literally takes you through the process of dissolving your fibroids, rebalancing your hormones. We also address emotional and energetic causes of fibroids and how to heal from that. We go in depth about the root causes. It's important for you guys to know and understand that information. So if you're interested in getting the vaults, the link is in my bio before midnight. The link is in my bio. Get it before midnight. If you're interested, Marsh got it. Shout out to Marsh, okay? If she's still on the live stream on YouTube. If you're interested in the Advanced Fibroid Healing Mastery Vault to help you reverse your reverse your estrogen dominance and get rid of your fibroids, balance your hormones. The link is in my description box if you're watching from YouTube. Also, too, if you want to work with me, okay, we have the 3-month intensive available. If you look, I need deeper guidance, I need one-on-one guidance, okay, we have our 3-month intensive opening up in the Detoxify Your Womb program on January 1st. But guess what? If you submit a deposit before midnight, you get $1,000 off, okay? And the next payment is not due until January 16th, okay? So if you want to learn more about the 3-month intensive, the link is in my bio. If you're watching from TikTok, if you want to learn more about estrogen dominance, the link is in my description box, okay? Okay. If you're watching from YouTube, any questions before I go? Okay, any questions before I go? If you also get on our email list, ladies, get on our email list. The link is in my bio. I'm gonna make sure that I go live every day in December. Okay, pray for me. Okay, while still making sure that my clients are good, coaching my clients as well, and also everything else that I have to do. But we're gonna make sure that we're gonna commit to that for 31 days. Oh man, maybe I'll probably be off on Christmas. But other than that, we'll make that commitment. 31 days of going live, okay? The link is in my bio. Join our email list so you'll know when I'm going live. And also, too, you'll get our 7-day fibroid healing truth series. You'll know more information about fibroids, right, and why they occur. Also, if you want to join our email list, if you're watching from YouTube, the link is in my description box, okay? So, I said a mouthful. I hope that you guys learned a lot today. Okay, I hope that if you guys learned, let me know. Also, too, I hope this also helps you approach your health differently and know that you have control over your reproductive health. You have all the control. Okay, don't leave the control. Don't outsource the control over your own body. You have the control over your own body and over your healing, right? All I do is I show you how to do I take you through the process, right? But then you have that control, and you have the lovely thing about working with me and also my courses is that it has lifetime value. You have lifetime access to my courses, and these are things that you can learn. You can also go over again next year or 2 years from now, right? You can also teach the women in your lives as well, right? So we can break the curse of generational womb trauma, generational womb issues. We gotta break that curse, okay? We cannot continuously have generations of women taking out their uterus and cutting and endometriosis and PCOS and fibroids. We can break that curse, okay? So that is all. Juju, I have to personally thank you and Nikki for liking the live. We almost at 10,000, 10K. We didn't make it quite yet, but that's okay. That's okay. Tomorrow, we got tomorrow. All right. YouTube, be sure to click the thumbs up button. And I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go now. I hope that you guys learned a lot today. Got a lot out of this. If you guys are coming in mid-training, if you guys did not watch the whole thing, the replay is on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. If you're watching from TikTok, to subscribe because I won't be on TikTok forever. Okay? So subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right? You guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye. Bye, everyone.